Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It's another fabulous day on the Price to Sell podcast. I'm your host, Matthew Campoli. And today, we're going to talk about something super exciting in the real estate space. We're blasting off into the future with this episode. And we're going to talk about NTRY.
Nice.
Or NTRY, however you see it and want to interpret it. But it is NTRY.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. And NTRY is a new 3D real estate visualization tool to showcase, market, and sell properties online, especially in the pre-con world.
Yep.
And today we are honored to have Mr. Jason Garland, who is NTRY's Senior VP of Business Development. So welcome.
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
And I saw you guys at I was grateful to be invited to the event. Super cool.
Yeah.
Just sitting on that stage there and full of anxiety. You know, because like shit, one more thing to get ahead of now.
That's right.
You know, things are shifting fast, and I know I got a ton of messages from the real estate community just off my stories from Instagram that just want to know, like, what are your thoughts? What's going on? Like, it's a big shift, and it's where things are headed. So it's like super interesting topic. Yeah. So happy to have you here. But yeah, if you want to give a little bit of background on you yourself, and then we can hop right into NTRY.
Sure. I've been working in the real estate sector for just over 20 years. So I got licensed in 99.
That's when I was born.
Yeah.
Shut up. I'm kidding.
Damn, that's terrible. But yeah, so I've been selling almost exclusively pre-construction sales in the downtown core for almost 20 years. I grew up born and raised in Stratford, Ontario, in Beaver town.
Yeah. You know Beaver?
No.
Do you believe?
I always believe.
Okay. Same.
Unfortunately, this weekend the Leafs lost.
I know.
So
we won't talk about that.
That's a belief, though. That's a different kind of.
Yeah, that is we don't believe, though. It's okay.
So I started 20 years ago selling downtown condos. You know, really at that time, Toronto wasn't on the international eyeballs. We were a city of 2 million people and selling condos at $230 a foot, $300 a foot. One of my first condos actually not too far from here at 1000 King Street by Plaza Court Development.
Yeah.
I think
the red one?
200. It's on the north side across from DNA 1.
Okay. Yes, I know.
It's kind of reddish brick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember we were selling 193 condos. Maybe it was 193 condos.
Yeah.
It took us a year and a half. We didn't have co-op brokerages.
Wow.
You didn't co-op with agents. So clients would come in 3, 4, 5 times, bring their dog, their cousin, everybody to try and make sure it was a good decision.
Yeah.
And things were a little different back then. The one bedroom and dens were like 750 square feet, and now they're 550 square feet.
If you're lucky.
They came with parking and a trip to Bahamas, but things have changed a little bit.
Yeah.
So I kind of grew up and cut my teeth in downtown Toronto. I did some other buildings out of the downtown core and had a brokerage myself for about 12 years called the Condo Shop.
Cool.
And that we had 2 offices, one in 1000 King Street and one downtown near Sherbourne, just on Sherbourne, in the Imperial Eyeglass Factory. Kind of a cool lofty building like this, post and beam loft, hard loft. It was an interesting quick story. Just we had these 1,000 square foot shells and we offered them to clients, but people couldn't visualize where the bathroom was or where the bedroom was, so we couldn't sell them. As soon as we put these black line drawings in and showed them where the bedrooms were, sold out, no problem. $270 a foot.
Wow.
Yeah.
Loft style.
Yeah.
Those are probably gorgeous now.
Post and beam construction, not the fluted columns like the merchandise lofts or some of the other fluted column concrete ones.
Yeah.
This was this sort of brick with the post and beam,
which everyone wants now.
Yeah. And
literally
hard to find. Like this area was Massey Ferguson. They tore a lot of this area down that had the old lofts, and now you've got the chocolate lofts and the toy factory and some of those older ones, but not as many left as there once was.
Yeah, it's very cool. Very, very in demand product now.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's get into NTRY.
Yeah, let's do it.
Again,
what the heck is it?
Yeah, where are we entering?
Yeah, what are we entering? NTRY has really been accelerated. Part of the pandemic has accelerated some of the visualization tools and being able to help do not only pre-con deals, but real estate deals in general, and being able to show your clients or investors or whoever might want to see the property and getting into the property without it being built. So imagine walking in, down a street or driving down a street even, pulling up to a building, going into an elevator, up the lift to the 30th floor. And you kind of saw some of that.
I was blown away.
And not only the visualization, but the hyper realism that it is, and photorealistic. It's built in Unreal 5. So the Unreal sort of look of it is pretty cool.
Yeah. And I used to video game, so I understand like the different engines and all that. And like it literally felt like I was at an E3 conference or watching Steve Jobs unveil a new Apple iPhone.
Right.
Like that's the excitement I had.
Yeah.
And it was to actually see, like, again, I didn't really have an idea of like what to expect, but the quality and detail and the graphics are just insane.
Yeah.
And I don't see why you can't do a ton of transactions through that platform, giving someone an actual visualization versus a floor plan when buying a pre-construction condo or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So that stuff is like really cool.
Excuse me. A lot of the time as realtors, we sort of bounce around from thing to thing and lock boxes and checks and all of those different pieces. And now, because the affordability of some of the city, you're driving to do showings in Mississauga and Hamilton and beyond. So imagine doing a lot of that from your couch right here, right?
Yeah.
And just being able to be more efficient with your time. And same with parents, and same with people who are buying, not that they're all parents, but same with the buyers out there and the sellers. They got busy lives. Like everything's so fast in our city now. So being able to just be more efficient with your time is really what we're trying to create. And the other side of it really is helping sort of help agents sort of get access right across the board, because as you know, and we talked a little bit off air, access is everything, right? Mm-hmm. So being able to sort of just level the playing field a little bit is super important for us.
That is everyone's like, how do I get into pre-con? How do I become platinum?
Yeah.
So I think that's definitely a market where a lot of people would be interested. I know not to shoot down the platinum guys, because I have it too. That's a lot of work. It takes a lot of work to gain that status. But definitely leveling the playing field and offering options. Like, I was reading an article online, for example, just bridging the gap of being able to actually easily find what projects are out there, how many units, all that stuff in this world, right?
Yeah,
which is super cool.
Right now, developers are putting out A-frames, sending out E-blasts. How do you get your stuff out there once the platinum sort of picked through everything and they've done their job? Where do you go next? And really, there's no platform out there right now that you can get up-to-date, live, real-time access to floor plans, pricing, incentives, all that kind of thing. So that's really what we're trying to do, and it's been exciting so far.
Yeah, it's really cool to see. So, and what do you think? Like, what are your thoughts on? Actually, before we even get into the whole metaverse thing, what does like a step-by-step process look like for someone using this model? Yeah,
so we're finalizing some of that stuff because you've had me on here before. We're fully ready. So what you saw the other day, I think it was 2 Thursdays ago, was really our brand launch and really introducing developers and realtors and not half of North America, but a lot of people in North America to the brand NTRY, as opposed to the platform and the launch. And we're sort of coming up to make sure that we're ready to go sometime, mid to late summer. And once we have some of those pieces ironed out, and we'll be able to come back here, hopefully, maybe, and we'll talk about it a little bit more about the actual pieces. Right now, it's a platform that you can sign on to and go show inventory on a hyper realistic platform.
Yeah. Even seeing the well, and I drive by this thing all the time.
Yeah.
And just number one, it's getting built insanely fast, and number two, I'm always curious, like, what's this thing gonna look like?
Yeah.
Like, what is this? Everyone talks about the magnitude of the well.
Right.
What is it gonna look like? And just watching in your example video.
Yeah.
Even being able to see the well, I was like, holy, like, this is sick. This is Trial's gonna kill it. And having Trial on as a supporter already is massive.
Yeah.
Right. That's one of the biggest, if not, arguably in the city.
Yeah, 7.2 acres, I think it is. So yeah, and they're forward-thinking developers, so it's amazing to have them on the platform. We're really excited.
Yeah.
But not only just the well, but it seems like half of our city, right? We've got something like just over 200 cranes in the air right now. So being able to visualize almost what Toronto's going to look like in 10 years from now because of all these different buildings going on at the same time. And, other master plan communities, but that's the biggest one downtown.
Yeah.
It's a massive piece of land.
It is.
And I remember driving by when it was just a big hole, and I was like, oh, the well kind of makes sense for this very piece of property, just the deep.
Massive.
Yeah, it's cool.
I remember, and I'm regretting not buying. That's what I remember. Those are my thoughts on the well. Yeah.
You should call it
1,300 a foot.
Yeah.
Sounds great right now.
It sounds great right now. 100%.
It does. And you have an amazing endorsement like Ryan Serhant.
Yeah.
Literally coming to Toronto.
Yeah.
Me fangirling and watching this guy on stage.
Yeah.
Just be blown away himself, right?
Yeah.
And I know he's all in on the metaverse and real estate and all that. So but having a name like that, endorsing this, that's also huge, right? And I think that's just one of many people who will eventually get behind.
Oh, he's
something
already
like
behind
this.
it. He loves the idea of being a future. It's about being a modern agent, right? It's not just about I'm an old school guy. I want to be belly nose to nose and have all those communication skills. But if you don't have those I can't even say communication right now.
It's okay. Want to practice?
Communication. If you don't have that, along with the tools and the systems and the processes that go along with being a modern agent to offer better value for your clients, you're going to be left behind.
Definitely.
So even somebody of my sort of riper age, if you will, understanding what the tools that I should be using and the platforms I should be using. And that's what we're hoping NTRY is, right? Is one of those tools on your sales tool belt to make sure that you can do more deals and offer better value and better service for your clients.
Yeah. And it's a huge one.
Yeah.
A very, very cool thing to add to the shed.
The future is fascinating.
Yeah. It's so fascinating.
What the metaverse can be and the advertising and the NFTs and all of the stuff that goes along with the metaverse is fascinating for me. And I'm still learning because they didn't bring me on for my technical prowess. Let's just say that, right?
Yeah.
I stopped gaming, Game Boy Tetris, really.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm not a big gamer, but understanding how this could be a tool belt for you is super fascinating.
Yeah, definitely. And just a quick story on Ryan, because everyone who knows me knows my Ryan Serhant missions.
Okay.
I'll call it missions.
Okay.
Been trying to meet the guy. I traveled solo to New York to meet him.
You showed up at his door.
I'm a big believer and I always make things work somehow.
Okay.
But as I got there, people are hitting me up saying, hey, he's not there. He's in the Maldives. I was like, perfect. No worries.
So that wasn't too long ago, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I still, connected with the right people, ended up with two of the guys on his team, met for coffee. The guy I met in New York introduced me, set it up, ended up in the office still.
Okay.
So still made it.
Getting pictures by the S?
Yes.
Okay.
I have a nice picture by the S. But I wanted to get him on the podcast. When I heard he was coming here, I was telling Samantha, help me out somehow. So I was texting the guys I know in New York, all that stuff. But it was so short-lived that couldn't happen. So I met him as he was getting all the photos and bombarded.
Okay.
The worst time.
Okay.
I'm having a full conversation with the guy.
Right.
He's smiling, and I'm just like... Because I'm talking, I'm ripping his ear off.
Sure.
Worst timing. So a lot of regret there, but
he was bombarded for sure.
He was bombarded.
Yeah.
But I will get him on the podcast.
Okay. Yeah.
Even if I have to travel to New York
I'll
again.
vouch for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So that's my funny Ryan Serhant story. First time meeting him, totally destroyed myself, but it's all good.
He was a popular guy that night. Yeah.
Definitely was, and taller in person. We're gonna get into now again, NTRY is. Are you guys probably the pioneer of this right now in the city?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Okay.
Absolutely.
I haven't heard of anything else.
No.
So,
there's nowhere on the planet that is doing what we do in terms of the metaverse and the one-to-one scale doing what we do.
Oh, wow. So that's a world thing.
This is a world-class system.
This is big time.
Yeah, and it's happening in Toronto. And that was part of Ryan's thing too, right? He was like, man, this should be happening anyway. Yeah. But it's happening in Toronto because we are modern.
Yeah.
Our MLS system is the biggest on the planet. They don't even have an MLS system system in New York, right?
That was news to me.
They've got some MLS systems other places, but they don't. Ours is the largest and most organized.
Interesting. See, these are things we did not know.
Yeah.
Interesting. So what's your take on like the whole metaverse for real estate? Like there's two. Yours is still selling something tangible that exists. Then there's like the space that, you're selling a digital piece of land and building a replica of something.
Right.
Definitely a big topic nowadays. What do you think of, just generally speaking, metaverse real estate moving forward?
Yeah, it's a great question, and I'm still learning every day because I'm like I just was saying, I'm sort of on the older side and sort of catching up to the understanding of where it can be. But I'm sort of learning every day where we could go and where we are headed in terms of smart contracts and smart mortgages and being able to have fractional ownerships and developers holding on to part of the NFTs of the property that they're selling and creating a further revenue stream. There's so many pieces here, and that's just on the developer pre-con side. Forget the resale side. And then beyond that, you've got, imagine being in there, walking by the hub or walking by the well and seeing the brand new Porsche come out, a brand new Lambo that went by, and then there's a post in the elevator lifts that you go up and you see that. So all the advertising that could go along with it is just like exploding my brain every day.
I never thought about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's super exciting.
Nice price to sell picture in the elevator.
There you go.
Okay.
There you
now
go.
We're thinking.
Yeah.
Just my face.
Yeah.
But my face with Ryan though.
Your face as an NFT with Ryan.
Perfect.
Okay.
That can do well, I think.
Okay.
You can blow that up. Can this work in the resale space too?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's hopefully by Q4 we'll have the resale side on board.
Nice.
We're meeting with some companies that are going to do some drone footage and fly over with these helicopters that are equipped properly to get the right photogrammetry and LiDAR is some of the software that they use to create some of these images. So that's sort of on the plan for Q4. Maybe Q1 of.
Okay, things are right into my head. So I can literally go to a client and be like, "Hey, we're gonna digitally map out your entire house, inside, outside, and I'm gonna offer it on this platform.
100%.
And any buyers can literally just walk in your house from anywhere."
So this is not a buyer platform. This is a realtor platform, right? So you as a realtor would have the key or the access to it, and then you invite your client in a conference sharing program.
So let's say the buyer's agent will have access.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. And they can literally walk through whatever finishes this house has, as is, digitally mapped out.
That's it. So not only that, Matt, imagine, Toronto is definitely getting there, but I was just down in New York talking to Ryan, and if you could make your time more efficient and have to show 14, 15, 16, 18 houses, imagine cutting off some of the ones that are never going to be a buyer want. Right. So just minimizing that from 14 houses down to 7 of the ones that you really want to go see. So as it's a tool belt, it's not meant to replace the nose to nose and belly to belly stuff, because it's still an important piece of the sales aspect. And because most people are buying their biggest asset they're ever going to own, having that sort of relationship and the sales aspect of it, I think is massively important. But if you can make your time more efficient by bringing that from 14 houses down to 7.
Wow.
Right.
That's huge.
It's massive.
I can literally pre-screen every home online.
Pre-screen every home world and do more deals with more clients.
And just be in Costa Rica the whole time.
That's it. That's a whole nother story.
Well, I mean, that is a goal. But this is some genius stuff.
I'm over the moon about it. I spend a lot of time in the office just innovating. We've got a huge tech team that is learning every day, and I'm learning every day, and the future is so bright.
And you guys are hopping into the crypto space too with this.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Nice, smart.
Understanding, what that space looks like and making sure we do it proper, so it's not a fly by the night.
I think it lines up.
Hugely, of course.
So you might as well. Now, I can imagine, just like anything, there's always resistance, right?
Okay.
So have you guys been seeing any obstacles by being the pioneer of this? Have you heard any maybe critical feedback? Maybe it could be like the non-believers out there who don't want to just even accept that this is real life,
Yeah, I think
is that a thing?
Whenever you're making change and whenever you're in the forefront of something, I think there's always going to be an old guard that is looking to hold up progress.
Yes.
But we are headed there.
Yeah.
So whether you want to be a part of it or not, I think you'll be left behind if you don't take on some of these, like a tool like NTRY, and making sure you're on the forefront.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think there's always a resistance when you're making waves out there, right?
Yeah.
So
definitely.
And we're making a few waves.
You're making a lot of waves.
Yeah.
Maybe a tsunami.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tough to get a tsunami in Toronto, but I love it.
I mean, you're doing it.
Out of Lake
So I don't know
Ontario.
how.
I appreciate it.
You guys are like, are you God right now? Like, you know? What's going on?
It's just got weird.
Yes, it did get weird. I like weird though.
It's awesome.
But yeah, I mean, like, you're definitely, just like when I first started, it's like, I'm doing all this Instagram stuff, and like, you know, the mentors are like, don't waste your time. Go door knock, cold call.
That's it.
You're not going to get business.
That's right.
Fast forward, all my business, Instagram.
Right.
You know? Now this thing.
That's right.
You're going to have these old models that are like, going to just resist, like Uber taxi.
Right.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So I personally, I'd be like all in on this.
Be the Netflix, not the Blockbuster.
Exactly. And for agents out there, let's talk about the how they can kind of jump on board, be a part of it, be immersed in it.
Yeah. I think step one is go to entrygta.com and go register. We're going to have a live demo. So what you saw the other day was more of just a kind of a screening, give you a glimpse, give you a little teaser, give you a taste of what we're about to do. So we don't have the exact date lined up, but it's probably going to be at the end of June.
Okay.
So you can log in, register right now, and be a part of that demo to find out what the future is going to be, demo it, walk through the well, do some of these things that we are going to have created by the end of the summer.
Amazing. Okay, we'll definitely be looking out for that one.
Yeah, entrygta.com.
Sweet. And then so now being in the business for 20 years.
Okay.
So you've seen 20 years ago business.
Okay.
Which I don't know.
Okay.
And then
because you were just born in
I was just born. Yeah. I was actually born 2000, but okay, I wasn't.
Terrible.
I know. Sorry. Now this, right? And now you're like way ahead. So what do you see the future of real estate work looking like? Let's say we're moving pretty fast. Maybe the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, I was just talking to a friend of mine who's been in the industry for longer than me, and it took. So I was selling at $230 a foot, and it took almost 15 years to get to $200 to $800 a foot on the pre-con side. Okay, now take $800 to $1,600 a foot. Right, it's taken 3-4 years.
Yes,
like the difference in time. So just to your point, we are moving fast right now. So making sure we stay on top of it. You know, the smart contracts, smart mortgages, fractional ownership, NFT space, crypto space. I think those are the places we're headed, and just how quickly we're going to be there and what's beyond that is super fascinating. I need to talk to far more smarter people than I to get some of those insights, but
same.
It's exciting.
That's why I brought you here.
No. Nice. I like that.
Did you like that? Thanks.
Yeah, man.
Doing a little bit of sucking up. So now in terms of since we have you and your expertise, like where do you see this? Do you see Toronto Pre-Con always being like a strong, solid investment, especially since we've seen like these doubling of prices in such a shorter amount of time versus how things used to be? Do you continue this? Do you see this trend continuing in the future with all the projects that we have coming up in the city?
You just love putting me on the spot right here.
That's my favorite part.
We went from like Stratford, Ontario to NTRY to what does the future hold of values? I love it. Thank you, Matt. I appreciate that question. The future is super bright for Toronto, and the influx in population growth, I think, is going to hold down our prices for I can't even tell you for how long. I think it just keeps going, truthfully. And when you take our city and compare it to some of the international cities, we're still a discount. So right now we're at 430,000, I think, to Canada per year. Toronto gets 40% of that, right? So that's That's an awfully big number, and we're building somewhere around 22 to 25,000 homes per year. So the supply is just not enough to keep up with the demand. And generally, people who are moving to the country, their first thought is to buy a home. So how do we create enough supply there? And typically, it's been moving out, right? That's why you're seeing crazy growth in Oshawa at, I think it's over 80% year over year, Bramptons, the Hamiltons, some of these periphery markets, but the downtown core is, I think people are going to start to move back, and you're going to have this continued increase. Are they going to be double digits? If you look at, our city over 40 years, I think our average is around just under 7%.
Yeah.
So it's like 6.8% year over year price growth. So I think that's more manageable than some of the ones that have been happening where you're like 15, 18%. Yeah. So that's probably not likely going to stay, because I just don't think that makes, I don't think that's going to continue. I don't think that trend is going to continue. Yeah. But the population is. Our strength in our economy is, our job growth is going to, we're creating something. I think I was reading 50,000 tech jobs over the next 5 to 10 years. So we're becoming a huge tech hub. And so I think that's not going to stop. So therefore, the really long answer to your question is, I think we're headed to $3,000 a foot. Like, I think you're going to see some launches come in this June in the downtown over $2,000 a foot.
Interesting.
And I'm not going to mention them because they may be watching. You're a very well liked and watched podcast. So
thank you.
I don't want to say who they might be, but I think you're going to see some over $2,000 a foot, like in the downtown, not Yorkville, not like just
beautiful.
Yeah.
And I would love to see those on entry.
Me too.
Yes,
absolutely.
There we go. Because we got the foreign buyers out there, walk them through, bring out. So my favorite part, the view.
Right.
The view.
Yeah.
Bring up to the floor. You can actually see what your view looks like in real time with the city.
Yeah.
Pick your finishes in real time.
Yeah.
What an experience.
Yeah. We've taken the sun in 3 different positions depending on your fall, summer, and spring, and being able to position the sun so that you actually know what your shadow is going to be looking out the windows. Deadly.
It's like Groundhog Day every day.
That's right.
Holy crap.
Like just wrapping around again. Like, watch this one, Mom, Dad, cousins.
So, we can fast forward to February 2nd of each year and just predict spring.
That's
while
it.
We're at it.
That's it.
So even some time travel almost and predictions through entry. So, man, it's been amazing.
Yeah.
We're going to have you back on. We'll bring on Julian too.
Awesome. Yeah.
And we'll, this is something we're going to continue to talk about, because beyond just like realtor to realtor conversation, this is a game changer in the industry and setting the tone.
Absolutely.
For everything that's to come.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of people were excited. We were all very excited at the event.
Yeah.
Thank you for that as well.
Yeah, pleasure.
A lot of great networking there, like me meeting you. And if for anyone out there listening who wants to check out Entry, where can they, best place to find Entry?
Yeah, you can go to entrygta.com, or you can go to our Instagram handle, which is entrygta as well.
Okay, yeah. Awesome. And then, just be on the lookout for the seminar that's coming out.
Yep.
So we can keep you guys updated with all that too. And until next time, my friends, thank you again for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share. Also, start thinking about how your avatar is going to look in Entry. Make sure you pick good outfits, because I'm going to be rocking a suit, really nice one.
That's it. Double-breasted.
Double-breasted, exactly. And we will see you all on the next one.
Awesome.
Peace.
Thanks.